games and winning ball, two new things the fans enjoy. Feller sets the pace in 40 by hurling a no-hitter on opening day. The team starts fast and pulls away, but all is not well. The team can't stand their manager, Oscar Vitt.
Bob Feller was pitching, and Bob was not having a particularly good day that day. I mean, for him. And he said in the dugout, they expect me to win. Look, that's my ace out there.
Well, he was two-faced, and he would greet a man going to the plate, and then if he made out, he would criticize him in front of the entire dugout.
Finally, a contingent of players pay a visit to owner Alva Bradley. They want Vitt out.
And there was a few ball players on the club that just figured that maybe we could maybe win the pennant without Oscar Vitt. And that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to tell Mr. Bradley that they thought that if he changed manager, we had a chance to win a pennant.
What happened with that then? How did it escalate to the problem?
Well, we were playing in Boston at the time, and the players wanted to go back and have this visit with Mr. Bradley, and Johnny Allen and myself tried to convince them if they would forget that, and Johnny Allen and myself would go visit Mr. Bradley at his home. And the newspapers, the sports writers wouldn't know anything about it. No, they wanted to go down and see Mr. Bradley in his office. So that's where we went when we got back to Cleveland. And the night before we came back to Cleveland, Hal Trotsky was actually the leader there. He wanted to have the meeting at Mr. Bradley's office. His mother died, and he had to leave the club and go back to Iowa. So when we got down to Mr. Bradley's office, we had to have a speaker. And the players asked me if I would do it, because I was the oldest man on the ball club as far as service was concerned. Well, I was the speaker, and I introduced our problems to Mr. Bradley that day, and that's what started it all.
The story leaks, and across the nation, the team is dubbed the Cleveland Crybabies. Worse yet, a late-season slump drops them back to the pack. The final series of the season has the pennant on the line as the Tribe takes on the Tigers. The Indians' hopes are crushed. Floyd Giebel, a career minor league pitcher, outduels Bob Feller 2-0.
That was a game that meant nothing to Detroit, right?
Well, they had a 2-game lead with 3 to play, so they could afford to lose it. That's why Giebel was pitching. He had a record of 1-0 for the year, so they threw him in there just in case they'd have their aces rest another day.
I got to tell you something. When you see the films of game action from 1940, that's as cool as it gets if you're a baseball fan.
Oh, it is. It's just fascinating.
Yeah.